Okay, let's start the video.
Okay, love.
Connectra creates opportunities for people living with disabilities by providing information, resources, and programming geared towards greater inclusion and quality of life. Check out some of the programs we offer through our online learning platform, Connect Together, including our Service Mondays, where we highlight a local organization or initiative, Wednesday Chair Yoga with Bobbie Seale-Cobiskey, Thursday Adapted Fitness with Megan Williamson, Friday Rotating Dance Classes hosted by Janice Lawrence and Joanne Cuff, and other initiatives including presentations by the Disabled Independent Gardeners Association's Growable program and our Perspective series. Check out our updated programs calendar on our website, connectra.org, or find us on Facebook at Connectra Society.
Okay, Bobbie, you can start.
Woohoo. So thank you, Kausar. So here we are. My name is Bobbie, for those of you who don't know me yet, or maybe just checking out the class for the first time or first few times. And so I am a certified yoga therapist. And I like to say that I'm certified, not certifiable. And also just 2 days ago, I became certified as a forester through ICORD'S. And so offering adapted yoga classes to people living with disabilities, chronic illness, fatigue, pain, and so on. And not the least of which, as well, folks with addiction. So I hope that you enjoy the class today. I think you'll be delighted to discover just how full of practice we can have seated in a chair. And although we can use a chair standing, for those who might be ambulatory with perhaps balance challenges, today the practice is going to be totally 100% seated in the chair. And so I'm just going to lead into my iPad a little bit so that I can take myself off the setting that it is now. So it's helpful for me to have this on gallery view so I can see a few of you. And of course, the program that is offered through the Disability Foundation, you're more than welcome to have your videos on or off. If you need to leave the space for any reason to take care of yourself, by all means do. I know you're not going to disrupt the class. And just a general reminder and the information for those of you who don't know, there's actually a timeline where we can sign on, and before, I think it's 10 or 15 minutes extra closes the class. And so to keep things flowing, and you're always more than welcome to check us out on YouTube and Facebook. So, anyway, enough. Okay. Really not my specialty. And so I don't like being a talking head. So away we go. So an invitation is always to begin a yoga practice by finding a comfortable sitting position. And so if you know, so we're going to be moving through all the major joints today. And it's going to be a relatively gentle class. I mean, all the classes are gentle. This one, because of the full moon, the tradition I was trained in, we're meant to be doing a more gentle class, so restorative. So I think the full moon might have been yesterday, but still it's just waning. And yeah, think restorative, relax, and renew. And so if you know that balance is a challenge for you, I'd like to invite you to make sure you have whatever device you need to keep you comfortable, in other words, stable. And lastly, it is not one size fits all, so we don't wear the same pair of shoes. And if you're blessed with a yoga buddy that can help guide the movements, wonderful. Of course, not doing the work for you, just there as a guide. And so now an invitation to lift your shoulders up, back and down. And so soft, organic movements, nothing rigid. And then an invitation to relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable for you. So I'd like to invite you now to ground down through your spine. Your thighs are in contact with your spine. And so if it's helpful, you could do a little bum dance or pull the buttock flesh away from your sit bones. So the bones we sit on. And so in a way, when we're practicing the chair yoga, when we're seated, the feet of our pose are sits bones. And so lengthen up through your spine. So long spine, lift your shoulders up, back and down. And again, relaxing your arms wherever feels most comfortable for you. An invitation to tuck your chin in slightly, so level with the floor, the earth. Parallel if you'd like, and chin, and imagine a turtle. I'm sure there's some turtles up there. Some days I feel like a turtle, other days I feel like a rabbit. And then when you're ready, an invitation to close your eyes.
I think she. Oh, there she is.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. So
Bobbie, you are on mute.
Okay.
You are on mute.
So apparently I was on mute there for a few seconds. So if you are not on mute at this time, if possible, I'd like to invite you to put yourself on mute. And that way, of course, less distraction with the participant has closed caption.
He said like this month we work Saturday, Sunday, but next month.
So Kassar, we're good, love? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I need. Yeah, okay. So I'm flexible, I do yoga. So as long as everyone is safe and okie dokie, that's what matters, the bottom line. And so an opportunity to share that you are the world expert on your body. And I will do my best always to guide you in a way that adapts the progress, the practice for you. And so eyes are closed softly, if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. Allow your facial muscles to soften and release. Our attention moves inward. So notice the alignment of your knees, hips, ankles, shoulders, overhead. And without changing anything, an invitation to bring a gentle awareness to your breath. And so placing one hand on your belly, if that's available to you and you would like, or if you have a Buddha buddy, yoga buddy. Sometimes I back backwards, if you know what I mean, just go with it. So they could place their hand gently, maybe between your navel and your pubic bone, if that feels okay for you. It might be a gentle touch with your fingers. And so on inhale, so allowing the breath to move her belly. On inhale, belly moves out. On exhale, belly moves in. Keeping one hand on your belly, take your other hand to your chest, to your heart center if you'd like. And so if this placement of your hands makes you lose your balance in any way, choose whatever placement works for you. And so we never forfeit balance to come into a closer move. And so now, as we maybe noticing the movement of the breath between your abdomen and your upper torso. And then see if you can begin to deepen, lengthen the breath. So making it just a little bit longer than it was when we began. And paying particular attention to the exhale, an invitation to see if you can begin to lengthen the exhale. So when we lengthen our exhale, it engages a relaxation response, allowing us to holding onto stress. So just for a few more breaths, or as long as it feels comfortable, I'd like to invite you to keep this gentle breathing practice flowing. And that said, if the breath awareness practice doesn't work for you, if it doesn't feel comfortable, I'd like to offer two other alternatives. And so it might be as an alternative that you bring your awareness to a sense of gravity. So allowing gravity to pull your feet, push your feet down through the earth or connect your feet to the earth. Allowing the shoulders to soften away from your ears. And then lastly, is another alternative. You're bringing your awareness to the soundscape around you. So taking a moment to notice the sound that's furthest away from you. And so I can hear the sound of equipment, whatever it is. Sounds like maybe a chainsaw, way off in the distance. That time of year. And then maybe bringing a gentle awareness to the sounds closest to you. So I can hear the sound of my exhale, my breathing. And then maybe bring the gentle awareness to the sound between what's closest to you and furthest away. So sound is always in the present moment. And then so when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, I'd like to invite you to maybe take 3 breaths. Perhaps if you'd like, taking a look around the space that you're in. So it might be outdoors, indoors, wherever you are. And to name 3 objects that you can see. So bringing us back to this moment. And so Moving on, I'm just going to see if I can place myself on gallery view again. I've got 2 images myself. I don't really need that. And there we go. So I've removed spotlight. For those of you that I can see, can you tell me, does this work? Thumbs up. Yeah, 2 thumbs, 1. I see lots of thumbs flying around. Woohoo! So if you have the ability to recline in your chair, awesome, go for it. Some of you have super deluxe chairs where you're able to recline a little bit. So you're more than welcome to recline, seated, whatever works best for you. And so moving on, an invitation now to bring your hands together, rub your palms together. And so there's research that shows what we have always known, that our hands are not only connected to our heart, but to our mind as well. And so you might even give your hands a little squeeze, maybe moving up your wrist. And then maybe sweeping up the arms. So I like to think of this as even a deeper practice in self-care, self-nurturing, if I was to name it. And then if you like, if you can just kind of give yourself some love taps. You can move forward a little bit if that feels comfortable, stable for you. Woohoo! It's yoga time. Little wiggly fidget. So this is my yoga dance performance. And so we all have our own sense of rhythm. So speaking of rhythm, I think of Matthew Sanford, who lives with spinal cord injury that I trained with just a weekend workshop in Minneapolis. And one of the things that I interpreted that stayed with me that I feel works amazing today is really the sensations that we're hoping to experience in our yoga practice. First of all, would be a sensation of grounding. And we have to go down to go up. So we need to feel a sense of grounding. So like moving from a foundation. And so from there, I would probably introduce expansion. So lengthening the spine. And a sense of balance. And so a lot of us have challenges with balance, and so a greater sense of balance, and then rhythm. So we've got we're grounded, we're set up with a nice sense of balance, and we've lengthened, and then we can boogie woogie from that place, if that makes sense. So moving on. It's kind of cool where I am now because I'm closer to the iPad and I'm actually able to see a little better. And I still am seated in a chair. I have a little hippie chair that I picked up not long ago. So anyway, so balance. So this is your homework if you should choose. Your mission, if you should choose to accept, is to consider that the 4 sensations we want to experience in a yoga practice are sensation of grounding, expansion. Well, even before expansion, balance, expansion, and rhythm. So 4. And so moving on to integrate that into the practice today, I'd like to invite you now again to repose. And so ground through your feet. Center and ground through the soles of your feet. So it might be helpful to walk your feet forward a little bit. If you have a yoga buddy, a partner, then place your hands on your ankles if you're comfortable with that. That can help give us a sense of grounding. Of course, seated in front of you, or on your knees, wherever's comfortable best for you. And so if you can't feel your feet, I'd like you to take a look and see if you can see them. And so I'd like to introduce imagination into the practice. So there's research now that shows that imagination can be even more powerful at times than the actual gross movement. So it flows where our thoughts and feelings go, and flowing our breath. So don't take word for it, investigate, notice how you feel. So I've noticed some of you sit in chairs, you'll have to do this. So if that's helpful, if your name's Marty, if there's a Marty out there that does this, I want to thank you because that's helpful. Sit up nice and tall, lift your shoulders up, back and down. Do a little bum dance, feel your sits bones, tuck your chin in slightly. And so let's begin the warm up now. So I'd like to invite you to begin by moving your eyes. Someone's sighing not too far off. Move your eyes, looking up towards the ceiling, towards the sky, if you happen to be outdoors. And then look down towards the earth, floor, 3 or 4 feet in front of you. Soft gaze. And we'll continue this gentle practice for a few more breaths, or as long as it feels comfortable. So looking up at the sky, or skyward, and then looking down towards the earth. And then as ready, bring your head back to center. And I'd like to invite you to take one ear towards your shoulder. Let your belly soften and breath is quiet. And then move your head from side to side. So I'd like to invite you, if possible, to tuck your chin in slightly and notice how that feels. So hopefully the intention is to, with a little tuck, to release the so shoulders are softened away from the ears. And then turn a soft gaze, looking just past your shoulder. So only move your head as far as feels comfortable for you. And then as ready, turn your head from side to side, as if nodding no. And then as ready, bring your head back to center. And so, okay, so moving on, I'd like to invite you, if possible, to take your hand up, place it on the side of your head, so reaching across. If you have a yoga buddy, a partner that can place their hand there, the idea is to create resistance. So pushing your head against your hand gently, and then come to the other side. And release. And then as ready, if it's possible, take your hands to the base of your skull. So if you have a head rest, it might work well to sort of gently pressing our head against our hands. So you might have a partner again that can place their hands at the base of your skull. And release. And so I don't know where some of you are located, but it's actually just starting to rain here a little bit. So I'm going to choose to stay outdoors. It's a lovely rain. But if you do need to go indoors, get rain gear, please do. Otherwise, we're going to bring a soft fist to our third eye, so middle of the forehead. And so there's a lot of discussions about, oh, what is the third eye? Where is it? So essentially, it's not rocket science. Third eye, middle of our forehead. This is the front part of our brain. If we put gentle pressure here, it can be calming for our nervous system. And then release. And we'll shake that again. Woohoo! Usually fidget. Good stuff. So we are going to get some hand movements in there. But before we do, we're going to make some nasty faces. We're going to do some face yoga. And so I think post COVID, and there are people who are still suffering from COVID, and it hasn't gone away. I think a lot of us acquired a lot of tension in our jaw, and still working through letting that go. And just typically, just because I think, and there's so many muscles in our face, it's one of the hardest areas to let go of stress. So essentially, no one can see you but me if your video is turned on, and so no worries that way. And so we'll begin with opening your mouth wide. And then release, relax. And this time we'll open our mouth wide again. And this time I'd like you to see if you can pull your lips over your teeth. This always makes me laugh. It works right away for me. I hope it's a pleasant experience for you. So now I'd like you to pull all your facial muscles towards your nostrils. So you just bit into a lemon. And good. Whew, that was hard work. Making ugly faces. So really, I don't know. I'm practicing my comedy, and sometimes it falls really flat, and other times not so much. But I do have a joke, and it's, did you hear the one about the mushroom who walked into the bar? Well, he walked into the bar, sat down, and there was just one other fellow at the bar when he sat down. And anyway, the bartender asked him, "What are you having?" And he said, whatever, a double Black Russian, whatever he was drinking that day. And so cool. And then about 15 minutes later, the bartender noticed that he had finished his drink and walked up to him and asked him if he wanted another one. And the mushroom said, "Sure, I'll have another the same as before." And then another 10 minutes goes by, and the bartender notices again he's drunk his drink. And he said, "And did you want another drink?" And he said, "Sure." And so when the bartender walked away, I turned around and went to the other guy who was in the bar. He said, "What's up with the mushroom?" And the bartender said, "He's a fun guy. You don't have to laugh. It's okay. I won't fall to pieces. I used to be terrified to tell jokes because my big fear was that no one would laugh. But anyway, there you go. He was a fun guy. So hopefully the classes are a little bit fun. Certainly I would not be practicing it if it wasn't. So arms by your sides, spiral your palms open. So your arms can be as high or low as you'd like. Roll your thumbs up. Right, open up your armpits. Get bigger in space. Roll your thumbs down. And I'd like you to notice, does it feel better to have your palms face down or palms face up? And then it's ready, palms face down, release. So we are going to practice. And so again, remember that you have choices. You can visualize the movement, move in your own time and rhythm. So I'd like to invite you to move at your 50%. And so sitting up nice and tall, push down through your feet. Maybe notice, can you feel one foot more than the other? And so we tend to be tighter on one side. So that it has something to do with your hips. Chin in slightly. Belly soft, or yeah. We're gonna just jump in now. So extend your arm out to the side. I'm trying to set up so that you can actually see my arm. So arm out to the side, spiral your palm open. Face down. And again, notice, does one side, or does it feel better, palm down or up? And then maybe with palm up, soft, bending your elbow, reaching your arm up a little higher. And you might, I have a little tremor, an intention tremor. So just, if you'd like to add a sound to the movement, you can add sound. And then we'll do that 3 more times, same side. Extend your arms, spiral your palm open, reaching up a little higher if you'd like. And then palm face down. This time, if you want to imagine, you can move your hand through honey. Soft golden honey. And so one more time. Begin again, same side, reaching up. Palm face down. So whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. And I'm just going to adjust the chair a bit, a little. Yep. So my husband says, be careful. She'll take you down into the weeds. So these are my weeds. There we go. So whatever we do on one side, we do on the other if possible. So it's not about forcing one limb to do what the other is doing. We just want them talking to each other. So palm down, palm up, soft bending your elbow, reaching up to the sky as high as feels good for you. And then palm face down. So remember, you can add a gentle sound to the movement if you like. So reaching up to the sky. And on the exhale, and reaching up one more time. And palm face down. And again. So take a moment to notice how's your breath. So sometimes when we're working really hard, we have a tendency to hold on to our breath and notice any subtle sensations. And trust that the sensations are there, and it's not going to be a rocket ship across the sky. So tuning in. So, most of us have heard about proprioceptive awareness, proprioception, so knowing where our body is in relation to space. And so I'd like you to explore, as part of the yoga practice, not only proprioception, the space around us and our body in relation to it, but introception. So tuning into what's going on inside our bodies as well. And so, how's your breath? And notice any subtle sensations. And trust that the sensations are there. And so moving on. So we've done lovely arm movements, neck movements, face. And so kind of like climbing a mountain. But again, today we're just post full moon. So it's going to be quite a gentle practice. So if you'd like, we can begin to move our arms. So I want you to imagine that your arms are like seaweed. So, or seagrass. So in a river, it might be seaweed at the bottom of the ocean. And moving in your own time and rhythm. So the seaweed is making its way up towards the light. So stretch into the stretch, get bigger in space. So we tend to shrink. And it can be interesting to practice these gentle movements with our eyes closed if you're comfortable with that. And then an invitation to notice where your body's talking to you. And if it feels okay, just send your breath there. So now we are getting into the deeper tissue in our body. So it goes all through our body. And in the morning, it can get pretty bunged up. And so stretching into the stretch. I'd like to invite you now to maybe notice where you're not feeling so much energy moving through. Or it might be a decreased sensation. So all the more reason to send our breath there. So our breath is very much a part of our life force. And so energy flows where the breath goes. And then in your own time and rhythm, just finishing up the movement that you're on. Wherever your body's talking to you. And then slowly come back to stillness. And so an invitation to relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable for you. And notice how you feel. So yoga practice was never intended to be about what we look like, what the form looks like. The diagnostic tool is, how do I feel? Notice any subtle sensations. Can you name the sensation? And perhaps it's a sense of energy moving through your spine that you didn't feel at the beginning of practice. Maybe it's fatigue, or maybe there isn't a name for it at all. Yoga meets us right where we are. Exactly where we are. And so now moving on, let's repose again. So you can have thumbs up or palms down, sitting up tall, grounded through your sits bones. Chin tucked in slightly. So often when people think about posture and they're asked to sit up, the first thing that a lot of us do is and really, if we want to practice sitting up from a yogic perspective, and it is a practice. So, of course, we can have amazing experiences right off the hop or subtle, but mostly the benefits of yoga come like anything with a practice. And so I just want to move in. So Cindy is sending a message. I don't know who Cindy is, and it matters to me to see what she said, but I'm not entirely sure what it's saying. Cindy Tian, you have a good day. Cindy Bishop, THN. Awesome. You have an awesome day too. Good day. All right, so I'm going to close that. Thank you, Cindy. And I'm just going to move that there. So I wouldn't refer to myself ever again as a Luddite. Certainly I'm challenged though with some of the techie stuff, and with a lot of help from friends and people like Cough Garden Disability Foundation has enabled me to be here today too. So love this practice. And so I like to think of it as India's gift to the world. And so moving on, let's come into some of the movements of the spine. So of course, a lot of focus on spinal movements in yoga. And so sitting up nice and tall. So of course you're grounded, and your feet centering ground to the soles of your feet. Sits bones are sharp on the chair. Lengthen your spine so we can create space in our vertebrae. Tuck your chin in slightly to release your neck. And then when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to, unfortunately, you can't see my hands, but I'd like you to come into movement where you're reaching your hand to, as if you're reaching to pick something up. So if you have arm rests, or you can take hold of the opposite side of the chair, go for it. And then move from side to side. So as if you're reaching to pick something up. So reaching towards the earth. If it's helpful, you could maybe inhale to one side, exhale to the other side. And so one of the keys with this movement, gentle movement, is that you're keeping both sits bones on the chair. And so we want to have our shoulder lined up with shoulder. And you might find that as we warm up our spine, these movements become more easeful. We're able to go a little bit deeper. So you're keeping both sits bones on the chair. And then it's ready, come back to a neutral spine. Take a moment. And then when you're ready, moving on, we'll come into a gentle twist. So I'd like to place my hand at the base of my spine, sitting up tall. Breathe in, we lengthen the spine so things expand on the inhale. Breathing out, gently coming into the twist. So it might be that you place your hand, if possible, on the outside of your opposite knee or thigh. So we're not torquing or pulling ourselves into the twist. This is a gentle twist. The hands are there to guide. And so twisting from side to side. And so it is midsummer here, already August 1st today or 2nd. So it is mosquito time here. So if you're practicing outdoors, really encourage you to get whatever you need in terms of bug spray, making sure that you're not allergic to it. You might want to check that out before you use anything. And so I tend to use stuff that has been very well tested and good evidence base that it's good, safe for most. And so gentle twist from side to side. And then coming back to neutral spine. And then take a rest. And so you might tap your feet, wiggle your toes, do the thumb dance, whatever it feels, whatever your body's asking of you. And so, where should we go from here? So we did side bend, twist. So I think what I'd like to do is, we only have about 10 minutes left. So I'd like to share with you, for those of you who might be new to the practice. So in yoga, we either stay in poses for 3 or 4 breaths, or counts if you like, 4 to 6, or less, depending on your practice, if it's okay for you. And or we move dynamically, so we move in and out. And so I'd like to a little more dynamic. And so when you're ready, invitation to place your feet where we need to, sit bone sharp on the chair, sit up tall. And so here we go, rock and roll. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, and then twist. Reaching up and twist. So moving in your own time and rhythm. And I'm here for you to see. So if you'd like to mirror my movements, that's great. Your arms might be higher or lower. up and twist. And so I'd like you to explore how it feels to come into the twist on the exhale. Welcome back. Apparently I'm a work in progress, or I don't know, maybe it's UFOs. So we're almost done. So you're ready. Just let your arms kind of relax down wherever feels most comfortable for you. And so sitting up comfortably, take a moment, let your breath settle. And soft, let your belly soften. And so I'd like to invite you to take 3 breaths here. Or to, so inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth if possible. Or it might be that you feel a gentle breeze, a touch of the air on your skin. Or bringing your awareness to the soundscape around you. Noticing the sound that's furthest away, maybe closest to you. So I can hear the rooster off in the neighbor's yard. I can hear the little bits of chirping or sounds that little birds are making. I think it might be hummingbirds that are close by. And so I think at this point we're just going to come down off the mountain. And so I'd like to move in that direction by inviting you to join me in a forward fold. And so we are going to come forward a little in the chair. So I'm going to suggest today that we just come forward about 20% and try this chair mine back a little bit. And so again, if you know that balance is a challenge for you, please have what you need, device you need to keep you stable in your chair. Sometimes it can be helpful to put a rolled yoga mat, a rolled blanket, whatever it is. If it feels good for you, bolster along your thighs, tucked into your hips. And so I'd like to invite you to take hold of the underside of your chair. And then sitting up nice and tall, lengthen our spine, and then hinging from the hips, come forward with a flat back. So lead with the heart, not the head. And then maybe tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. Or nod yes and no. And then an invitation to breathe into your lower back. Or you might imagine that your lungs are in your lower back. So of course we can't place our lungs in our lower back. Again, energy flows where our thoughts, where our breath goes. It helps to slide your feet out a little bit, go for it. And notice how you feel in this pose. And so seated forward folds typically are calming. And then as you're ready, come on out of your forward bend by pushing down through your inner heels. So it might be an energetic pushing down. You place one hand on each near thigh or your hip flexors. Come back up with a flat back. And then come seated back in your chair comfortably in preparation for short guided meditation and your final relaxation. And so whatever that looks like for you, again, if you have the ability to recline in your chair, go for it. If you're able to use a regular chair, if you're not a wheelchair user, then you can place your chair, maybe some of you in wheelchairs, using wheelchairs can And place your chair against a wall and lean back somehow. Make sure your head and neck is supported. And so, whatever your pose is, I'd like to make sure that you're seated comfortably or reclined a little bit comfortably. And lift your shoulders up, back and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable for you. So look down and into your heart, see what you can see. And then to breathe into your heart. And so a meditation practice that I learned from Thich Nhat Hanh, a Zen Buddhist monk that lived to be 95 and passed away 2 years ago, beloved. And so it goes like this. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. As my in-breath grows deep, my out-breath grows slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I release. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. And so we'll just sit and take a few breaths together before we move into our final relaxation. It's a gentle reminder. Breathing. We'll come into whatever comfortable position you'd like for your final relaxation. And so we are going to be cooling down and trying to keep you warm. And so sometimes, if we're not sensitive, sometimes putting stuff I understand can be irritating, not comfortable. That said, I know for some folks, placing a little bit of weight on their thighs can encourage a grounding sensation and can help with fatigue. Have whatever you need to do, whatever you'd like to set yourself up comfortably. And so even if you're seated in a chair, you have the ability to put your legs up on a bolster or a chair, go for it. And so this is meant to be a deep, conscious relaxation. We're not meant to fall asleep in it. And so eyes are closed softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. Rest your palms face up or down as desired. And so lift your shoulders up, back and down. Soft, organic movements. So this isn't a big scrunch up towards our ears. Actually, the invitation is to allow the shoulders to move away from our ears. And soft belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. Quiet breath. So allow the breath to reflect the pose, serenity pose. And so maybe soften your jaw, unclench your teeth. So let there be a little space between your teeth. And soften around your temples. And soften the area between your eyebrows. So if it feels lovely for you, you can touch those areas or have a yoga buddy, gentle touch. So if it's comfortable for you, so maybe if you find it challenging for me to quiet the mind, and so most of us, I think, come to yoga to quiet our mind. Place your hands at your belly, maybe bring your awareness to your breath or to one of your anchors, so the soundscape or gentle sense of gravity, and pulling you down towards the earth, allowing your shoulders to soften away from your ears. So without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. So you might count 3 breaths. If your eyes are closed, gently blink your eyes open. And so maybe take your look around the space you're in and naming 3 objects. And then come on, seated comfortably, back, seated comfortably to finish up your yoga practice today. And so thank you, everyone. Let me see if I can put myself in gallery view here again without losing you all. So thank you everyone for showing up today for yoga. Thank you to Kasar, my awesome tech host, and the Disability Foundation Connectra for providing this opportunity for us to hang out together, share a joke or two. So laughter, did you know that when we laugh, it lengthens our breath? It makes our exhale longer. So it helps with the relaxation response. So I think that's one of the reasons laughter yoga is so popular. But anyway, that's another story. I picked up a little button. I'll just share the week. If you want to have a chat. So I picked up this little pin. It says, "Born to be mild." So instead of born to be mild, I'm on a little overnight retreat tonight. It's that time I graduated from Eco-Wisdom.
Congratulations, Bobbie.
So I'm a crybaby. I don't want to cry.
Congratulations. That's
So I'll be counting my blessings in a geodesic dome. A click out of Seashell, where our little ice cream shop is, and there are people down this dusty road going to meet me at the head of the dusty road. And I have my own little coffee pot. I'm going to bring pen and paper and just take a breath, and then I'll be scooping ice cream again tomorrow. So Yeah.
Did you do anything special for the full moon, Bobbie?
Pardon?
Did you do anything special for the full moon, the super moon?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I almost did. I wanted to join a group who were doing something. I hadn't done anything with the full moon before, and there's a wellness clinic down the road, but didn't get quite brave enough this time, but there'll be another one this month.
Oh, for sure. Well, I don't know, you probably heard that so far there's 4 of us that have signed on to offer an eco-wisdom program in Vancouver before Carrie's on the whatever day that is, 23rd.
Yep, Lorette asked for help, so
So
all 3 of us offered to help.
yeah, so I'm hoping that it might be it's going to be really central.
Great.
So
Well,
place
Marty and I will
it's
let our
very
group know.
cool. Okay,